Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Ox, here on the panel tonight is the one and only Bridgeman and the man who puts the GB into Great Britain. How are we doing, Gary?
Very well, Ox. Hope you're well as also, Bridge. He's there.
Come on, Bridge. He's new to this. I
do apologise. the show boomed in there.
By the
Sorry
way,
about that.
I'm going to whisper to you this, Bridge, if you promise not to tell anybody before you start.
Of course.
Last night I done a Bridge at the end of the show. I was saying thank you this, thank you that. The tune came on. I was on.
There's nothing worse, is there?
The floor's all yours. The floor's all yours.
Oh, what can I say? I'll say good evening to you guys. Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. I've had a really good sleep last night and I'm looking forward to tonight's show. Really looking forward to it. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. And welcome to Rangers Radio.
How about you, GB?
Very well. I was like Tony for Saturday night fever on Sunday, man, after the wee draw that happened across the road. I was strutting my moves and everything. What a
slosh
beautiful
man,
Sunday.
you?
Oh,
Bridge is a slosh man, isn't he, Bridge?
Slosh. There's a wee gif or gif, however to pronounce it, and it's got two guys or somebody doing the gif and somebody doing the slosh.
Still
they're dancing across. It's something like that. Brilliant, just brilliant. Aye, it's fantastic. I don't do it, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I was living it up, Bridge. Living it up.
Ox was very, very good at that, mate. He was always right in the middle.
You do the slosh? Fox or you?
Well, both of you, but Fox is...
Both of you. Depends on what you want to drink.
He's a class above, you know. And to be honest, we've been hit with him a few times when he's been sloshed as well. You know,
that would be class. The sloshed and the slosh at the same time. That would be good.
Usually,
has he been all right then? Has Fox been okay?
He's all right, mate. He's just struggling, you know. Well, I'm going to get him on a course, mate. I've got shaving cream, razor foam. You know, he seems to be struggling with the concept. But we'll get
love it, by the way. Just love it.
He's all right.
Sounds brilliant. You're doing well. Obviously, you're doing well. Oh my God.
The thing is, Bridge, before we start talking about the Rangers, people think I'm kidding on, and I'm no. Anyway, Gary, we've not heard from last week. Things just keep rolling, don't they?
It seems to be we've got a brilliant bit of momentum now, Ox. It's great to see. It's something I've not seen in years in the Rangers team, that it's a kind of there's a wall and I'm going right through it kind of thing. It's brilliant. There's even, I mean, I was watching the game on Sunday and the substitutes coming on as well. They looked hungry. I mean, sometimes you're getting guys in the past who were coming on and they were just kind of running down the minutes, but these boys were coming on and they were wanting. It was as if they were starting the game all over again. They were getting right in about it, Atton as well. I mean, I was going to go on and talk about a wee bit about Atton later on, but I tell you, that boy is. I know he's not getting a lot of minutes in it, but I think that boy is going to be something special for us, by the way, up front, eventually. He's obviously got a lot of competition in it, but I think we keep teaching him, progressing him, gaining his minutes here and there. That boy, I tell you something, he's got something about him. He's
showed a great attitude. By the way, all the substitutes showed a great attitude when they come on Sunday. Hadji, obviously Arfield come on, Defoe, Atton. They else? There was another one. Come on,
Zunga,
yeah, and they just what made it worse? I mean, you're watching the game. I don't know if you picked up in the GB that they took their own and they got to the players even quicker than the guys that just went off because they were fresh. And the old Ross County players were just looking at each other saying, "We can't take any more of that."
I know. I actually see the full time whistle. I think it was is it Vagris or something for them? I seen Tav going up to him, and Defoe was still and talking to him as well. And the boy, just the way his body language was saying was just to say, "I'm glad that's finished," kind of thing. It was, I think it was that boy that scored the OG as well. He was up, and it just looked as though they'd been run ragged in that. And but I mean, see, do you know what I like about that is I think the boys probably appreciate how well Rangers did play. In a sense, I mean, I think sometimes you can try your best, but see when you're playing against a team that's just on form, there's nothing much you can do about it.
No, we've got two positives, GB, at the moment. We're good in possession, we're tight, we're out of possession, and we work hard to get it back. You know, so these are hard to play against, especially if you're a team with inferior players. It just gets so hard. And people say, "Oh, it's a game of football," but your legs, they just go. You know, mate, they just go, and you can't do it anywhere.
What I'm liking as well, we see the times in the games where we're kind of, I'm not saying there was a lot of that, but the times we're on the ropes with some games recently, we seem to gather that together, and then we just take the game by the throat, and we get ahead, if you know what I mean. It was like that save that McGregor saved, that totally kicked us into another gear to go up the park and get that goal. And as soon as we got that goal, that was us. We were right in the game. It was just, it just shows you that there's a fighting mentality there. They're just not wanting to back down. It's great. It's really great to see.
Gary, can I just comment on what you were saying about Itten? I've said the same thing yesterday, and you know, my sort of that wee thing I do, something from the bridge, a view from the bridge.
Yep.
I think Itten's goal, that goal that Itten was involved in with Jermaine Defoe, that was a fabulous move by Rangers. You know, from probably from Balogun over to Bassey. Bassey chipped down the wing for Itten to go and battle with the guy, stole the ball off him, and got a lovely cross in, and that was a fantastic goal. Mm-hmm. I don't know very many players that could actually do that. Twist, hood and slink in against the guy and then twist and turn away from him, put the ball in the net. Just brilliant. I think it's something about, I think you know, nutmeg two players at the time.
2-1.
Unbelievable.
Bridge, you're right about it, and see when you look back, see that Motherwell game where he scored the 2 goals as well. I mean, see when you look at his first goal where he flipped it up and turned and shot, like, that's, I mean, the boy's got talent, and I think, like I say, he's at the right place to develop. I mean, I think, for what we've seen with our players now coming into this season, how they've developed, give that boy a couple of seasons, and I think how he's got to develop, because I know YouTube shows the best of a player sometimes, but...
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of Bridges' clips.
But, I mean, the way the boys scored these goals back in his own country and stuff like that, he's a hustler. I mean, he gets in about it, and he pushes players off the ball and stuff like that, and he makes sure that he wins the ball and stuff. So I think that's going to be another striker boat. It's I mean, Roof's obviously got to be a kind of number.
Roof. Let's go into Roof, mate. I've been surprised at him, mate. The goals he scored. I mean, obviously, you've got the goal for his own half, which is just you maybe the finest goal you've ever seen. The circumstances, the weather. Then we've got goals like the one he saves against Standard Liège. Then I think it was Hamilton. He had the right good header. Did he put it back? And then you've got a Sniffers goal. He's scoring all sorts of goals, different goals. I've got to say, I was a bit apprehensive. You say, right, okay, we'll see where it takes us, but I've got to say, what a signing it looks like being Gary then Bridge.
I mean, I would be. You'll probably find it a bit strange, but I think the goal at the weekend he scored is probably one of my favourites he scored, because he was all in. Like he kind of put himself in danger a bit with that goal. And he wasn't fearful. He just went in and he wanted to score a goal, and that shows commitment to me. And that shows a guy that wants to score for us, which is brilliant. And the way, like you say, once he's cleared up the kind of injuries he had at the start and getting up his fitness and stuff like that, I think we're just starting to see the fruits of that now. And I mean, bring on these next couple of games, these big important games, because I think he'll thrive in it.
Bridgman.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. Once again, I agree with Gary. I think that that goal that he scored yesterday was a topper. It was from the sort of centre of the pitch, and a brilliant passing play. And all of a sudden, there's a fabulous ball for Davis down to Tavernier, and he's in the box and he smashes one across, really on the ground, and that wee fella slid right in there. Fabulous goal. Wish we could score one of them every week. That's just lovely to watch. Great play, and then the final touch, magic, just magic. I think he's a wonderful player, and we've seen how good the quality of his goals are, and we know, based on the things that Fox was telling us, or Oxford was telling us, that he's some measurement they have, and his runs much more than anyone else. I don't know whether that's only in training.
That was a standard Liège game, wasn't it? He got the dominated yards, you know.
I don't know. Sorry, carry on, please.
Which really surprised me when you think you're Taven Borna, but there you
go. His movement is unreal. Like, see, even the Aberdeen game as well. Just what I said, that kind of opened up doors for us as well in that game, where you know what they're like. I mean, sitting in and stuff like that. And I think we've been. Last season, we found it hard to break these kind of teams down, but we having a player like that that ghosts a lot is. I mean, I think it's helping us a lot, and I know that we've said that it's mostly the wing backs and stuff like that that's been scoring, and Tav's been scoring and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the defenders are watching our forward line too much, and then they're forgetting about the likes of Tav and stuff like that, and that's how they're getting their goals.
Right. I mean, it's a team game.
Aye.
Mm-hmm. It's a team game, Bridgman, and obviously, but Roof's starting to score regular. You know, he's I think he's got 8 goals or something. I've not checked. I think he's got about 8. So he's starting to notch the goals up. But what I'm going to say, his goals have been they've been unbelievable. I mean, that one he scored against Standard Liège. 9 times out of 10, you'd be going for that for your goal of the season. That's no. They were near it, Bridge.
Agreed. I think if you just think a wee silly thing, but if you just think back to the last 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it was, who wouldn't have had Roof in their team in the last 3 weeks? And each of us have picked a team, and everyone is, in my mind, have had Roof in it, because that's how good he is for the Rangers at the moment. I think he's a superb player. I don't know how much it cost us, so maybe one of you guys could remind me. But whatever it was worth it.
I think it was about $4.5 million.
Right, if he keeps going the way he's going to be an absolute star for us. He is really. He's never still. He's running in there. He's getting behind people. Oh, it's just great to watch. Wonderful player. Great goals. That one for the halfway line. Never seen anything like it. As I say, I'm nearly.
See, if that was me, Bridge, I'd have went and got the ball, walked down the tunnel and said, that's me finished.
But, you could think of something for your whole career, score a goal like that in a European tie for your whole career. Will you ever better it? Could you ever better it? Wow. Just unbelievable. I love all this. I'm no big fan. I see at the beginning of the season, and even last season, people were saying they're no dead sure whether we should be involved in Europe and things like that. And I know I've got great respect for everybody and how they feel. And some people just think it's a waste. Sometimes it's a waste. They'd rather concentrate and win the league, and so on and so forth. Seriously, you couldn't buy that. You couldn't buy that. What that guy's done is...
The memories we've had in the last few years in Europe,
Wow.
Back when Stephen just arrived, we were beating teams with 9 men and 10,000 show up at the airport, welcome them back to let them know how we're right behind them. Then you've got the group stages. We're very unlucky against decent teams, and the thousands of bears that are in Vienna, and then the last season we're putting Porto, we're ahead of Porto, we're Feyenoord, and we're beating good sides, and even last year's Midtjylland, they're the Champions League now. What did we beat them? 5-2 and 3-1 or something? Some fabulous memories, Gary.
Oh, and do you know what I like about Europe? One is obviously because of money, and I think that's it's going to be a mainstay for our club, is that's where we're going to make money. But two is it shows our where our level is. Like, obviously when we're playing the league and stuff like that, a lot of teams are going to sit back, and you don't really, you see us playing well, but it's because we've got a lot of the ball, so you don't really know how well it is the team. But see, when you see us in Europe and stuff like that, you're like, you sit back and you're going, Galatasaray and Benfica and all that, you're like I'm not saying we've not spent a lot of money in that team, and for us to be competing is, how Gerrard's done that, I do not know. I mean, obviously he's built a team and there's a closeness and all the rest of it, but we're probably overperforming, in my opinion, because I was more looking at the Benfica game thinking, if we can get a draw, that's a great result. But if we get beat, well, so be it, because Benfica are Benfica kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But when I see them going out and competing, I mean, it's like I say, that does create, like you're saying there, Ox, it creates more memories. I mean, you've got to remember these seasons, and hopefully we'll kick on come Thursday again. I tell you, if we top the group, I mean, that is a massive pat in the back to the team and the coaching staff.
If we top the group, I don't know what we're going to do with a Bridgeman.
I'll tell you what, my wife said the same thing. She's going to buy a bit of quality and put it out of the furniture, because she'll have to scrape me after stealing.
Brilliant.
Oh my God, I was high as a kite.
I did witness it. They just get new Chesterfield recliners. Now, you imagine how much that cost, Gary. Chesterfield recliners.
Oh, that's tough.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
That's there, right? A man of his age, Rangers scored a goal. Mrs. Bridge, such a lovely lady, and he runs across the new furniture. Oh, I'm like, Bridgeman.
I don't say it anymore, please. It's quite embarrassing.
I hope that's got a nice cup holder and all built in.
Well, you're just talking about these things. It's wonderful. This is wonderful, being able to come on to our wee show here, and all the other Rangers fans listening in and want to phone in. Please come on and join us. It's wonderful. Gary, great memories. It's happening.
Gary, there wasn't cup holders at the side of this thing, right? There's a thing for your cup. There's another thing for your mug. Then there's a charger for your phone. And then there's a hole for the remote for the telly, mate. That sounds like that man's a way ahead of the game, Mr. Bridgeman.
He's 2020, man.
Oh, mate.
Brilliant. Just brilliant. You know what I found myself? Was it last season? You're sitting, I wasn't too great, health-wise. And I'm up there now. I'm up there in the Coatland rear. And we were doing so well. They started doing the bouncy. The Union Bear started doing the bouncy in the corner. And it was coming and coming. I'm up. And then I was up there and doing the bouncy. I was exhausted.
In between, he's telling everybody, I'm not so well. They're all bringing them boxes of sweeties to the match.
Oh, my God. That's true, wasn't it?
Aye, that's true.
I'll get him that.
The only reason he takes his motor to the football GB is the amount of sweeties he takes in with him.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Love
it. Yes, mate.
I've got a question for both you and Bridge, right?
All right, okay. Don't make it too hard, mate. You know what I mean?
But it's obviously from the years of use and all your experience and stuff like that.
Whoa. calm down a bit, boy.
You need to enlighten a youngster here. See, if we do win this title this year, right? Well, this season, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's going to be our greatest title?
Best ever.
Best ever, aye.
Best ever. By a country mile. By a country mile. Very fortunate, mate. I was there in 75. I was there in 87. I was there in 97. And this will be the best ever. Just the circumstances, in my opinion. Great question to put out to the whole show. But Gary Bridgman, you go back even further.
Well, I think given the circumstances, right enough, it would be the greatest ever. Most Rangers fans would say so. But historically speaking, we can't forget the Advocat days and Souness, and before that under the last manager we had. But that's it. It's really great. We've been some places and we've won great titles, but I really do believe in my heart this could be the best title we've ever won for multiple reasons. But it just could be. This would be heaven for us, for Rangers fans. Heaven. Correct.
Is it the circumstances that you think that, or is it, or is it just
the whole? It's a whole backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Why we've been treated, the way we've been talked about, belittled, and to come out with the last laugh. How are they going to feel? How's the team's going to feel when Hibs, Aberdeen, Motherwell, everybody had a kick at us, seriously, because they all did. And how are they going to feel, Gary, when we go up and get that championship trophy, hopefully next May? How are they going to feel? They'll say, what was the point of that? What did we do? We nearly killed our game. And what have we got out of it? Nothing. We're in a worse state than we were before.
Aye, and in the same position as they were before as well, in leagues-wise. You're right, Ox. I mean, for me, like I've seen Walter Smith, seen Dick Advocat, McLeish. Never really got to see like Soonest times and stuff like that, but for me, like going through the leagues there and stuff, it's going to be probably one of my most proudest moments as a Rangers fan if I get the chance to go to Ibrox and see them come back for whether they've won the game at another stadium and then they come back to Ibrox or whatever. It will be one of my most proudest moments because
I would just give you a bit of advice. If you're coming with me and Big Stephen from Drumchapel, take a week off.
Aye.
A week off.
I think that's consensus.
No, that's right. Wonderful to talk like this. Just to talk like this and feel free enough to talk like this. Incredible. That's the circumstances.
What about you? I just the circumstances. But I'll tell you what. Right, we've got an interview coming up for Claire Gemmell, who's the captain of the women's team. Will be joining us shortly. After that, we're going to open up the phone lines. But Gary, give that question out because people need to think about it. What's your question you're asking people?
My question to all the Rangers support out there is, will this be our finest title win ever?
If we go on.
If we go on that, yep.
Right,
if we go on to win.
Claire will be with us in a couple of minutes, and then we'll open the phone lines roughly around about the tune, maybe just after the tune. Is that fair, Bridge?
I'm in. All the way, I'm in.
All in. That's my thinking, mate. I just, if I was to rate them at the moment, from my own personal point of view, the different age groups and that, I would go Pataudry 87, Easter Road 75, and Tannadice 97. There you go.
Tannadice was 9 in a row, wasn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, beat them all. Can I just say, if you're phoning in, we'll phone you back when the interview's finished. Don't keep phoning because we can't phone you if you keep phoning. Simple, isn't it, GB?
It is.
Can you just let them know what's happening? Because obviously the person hasn't picked it up yet.
Right, we're going to have an interview, and then we'll open the phone lines. We've not opened up the phone lines yet, so if you keep phoning, even if you were coming in, we can't bring you in because you're phoning us. Right, okay. I don't want to mention any names. Wouldn't it be fair? But let's just say he's got the initials the same as one of the panel members tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me it says Gary.
The two Garys.
Oh, brilliant.
Maybe we shouldn't allow that bridge, two Garys on it at one time, you know what I mean?
Well, which one are you going to pick?
It's a double negative, isn't it? Sorry, guys.
Oh, you need me to keep the heating on.
Here. Have you mentioned to Mrs. B about presenting how your media career's taken off?
Oh, she's in awe. She's in awe.
He's fear.
You should see it. You should see it. Even the night when I said, I'll need to leave you now. I'm going down to join the
I'll
show.
need to leave you just now, darling.
I'm not that romantic, Bridget. So, yep, aye. So, I just got the kind of bloke to say, aye, you enjoy it while it lasts.
You went up the world then. Mrs. Bridge knows me all the way. But anyway.
If you get kicked to GB, you get a kip at one of the fancy recliners that Bridges got.
Oh dear.
In fact, Family of Four could stay in that city.
Aye. I'll tell you, is that
the one that can massage you and all as well when you sit?
Oh God, no, nothing like that. No. Actually, the city is my wife's pride and joy. She'll know. Like me sitting anywhere near it.
That was in the massage chairs, but that was in the solarium. And I went into that when I came out the pool.
It's a shocker, isn't it? See, since that boy moved into Oxford, it's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
His eyes have been opened up.
It's him, mate. It's him.
So
I've been fortunate enough. That's my three, guys. That's my three. I've been fortunate to be. I was at all the games, and that's the way I would rate them. But this one would top the lot, seriously, because of the circumstances.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm not being funny when I say this. Something bumped into my mind when I'm sitting in the hospital today, and it was about the Rangers. And I thought to myself, now, when we came back up, or as we came through, and we met Celtic in the cup final, the Scottish Cup final, we hadn't played them. Had we played them before that?
The semi-final, you mean?
The semi-final, yeah, the Scottish Cup semi-final.
We played them when Kenny McDowell was interim manager. They beat us 2-0.
No, when we were down the road. No,
that was the first time we played them. We played them in the semi-final. I'm not sure if it was the Scottish or the League Cup.
Oh, right. So
Kenny McDowell was interim manager.
Right, okay.
When you beat 2-0.
That's right enough. I remember it now. So the second time we met them was the League Cup, the Scottish Cup semi-final, and we beat them 3-2. Yeah,
yes.
And with penalties.
Yes.
So twice we're doing all the leagues. We found our way back, and we played them in the 2 games. In the second game, we beat them. We weren't even in the top league at the time. Incredible.
Correct. I've got a question to ask you before we start the interview. Just something to think about. Do you remember we had this debate about leagues and forum and finishing your league? Yeah.
Right.
What would have happened if they had that run of forum last March and April time? Who would have won the league? Yeah, just putting it there.
Seriously.
Get yourself on mute. We're going to hear from the women's captain, Claire Gemmell. This evening, Rangers Radio have been joined by Claire Gemmell, the captain of the women's football team. Evening, Claire.
Evening, Ox. How are you?
I'm all right. Look, the first thing I've got to ask you is you don't win 9-0 every week out doing the men. You only beat Hamilton by 8.
No, definitely. It was a great result for us, to be honest, and that's testament to the girls' performance on Sunday. I thought we were excellent throughout the whole game, and we just were pretty relentless, to be honest, and we kind of try and strive to do that every week. I think that just shows the respect we also gave to Motherwell, the fact that we didn't take our foot off the gas and kept going, because it's obviously going to be probably a pretty tight season. Goals are going to matter, so I think when we're on top like that, we have to just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Was it a game you fancied? Had yourselves as strong favourites, or was it something you just had to go out and win the battle and then see where the goals took you?
I think we were confident going into the game, but at the same time, you have to respect every opposition you come up against. Motherwell have got good players, so it's about doing it once you got onto the pitch. And I think if you see how we played on Sunday, we definitely done that, and we took it to the next level. I say in recent weeks we've maybe not been clicking the final third, but we certainly did on Sunday.
I'll be honest with you, I've never seen it all. I saw bits of it. I saw the fifth. Removed the ball well, and as you said, in the final third, a wee bit better than maybe he's done in the game where you had the small blip where you were mugged this season. So that's all positive, eh?
Of course it is. It's the direction we want to go in as a team, and we're always looking to improve. And I think we can still improve. You know, we're still a relatively new squad together, but we have very good players, and a lot of the girls know each other as well, which also helps to gel us a wee bit quicker. But with the introduction of Rachel, Kirsty and Sam this week as well, has given us an extra kind of injection into the squad, which is only leading us down the correct path.
These are the 3 signings for Glasgow City?
Yeah, that's right. They've just come in. It was their first week, and to be honest, the 3 of them were excellent on Sunday along with the rest of the team. You wouldn't know it was their first week here. Right,
okay. So they've strengthened their squad, eh?
Definitely. I mean, it's already an excellent squad, but you can always strengthen, can't you? And you can always bring players in who can give you something else into the team. So I think we're really looking good going forward, especially into this week's game coming, which is very important for us.
And as captain of the team, the squad, when new players come in, have you got a specific role to try and gel them into the side, maybe off the pitch?
Well, I'm always obviously there to be approached by the players if they need anything from me. But as I said, the kind of benefit we have is a lot of the girls actually know each other through playing together at previous clubs. We also obviously have girls coming in that have never kind of been in the Scottish environment. So I think it's just about asking them what they need and trying to give them that to allow them to settle in as best as possible. But I think if you ask any of them, it's a really good environment to come into. Everybody's really welcoming, and we try and kind of drive that forward so that everybody's included.
Obviously, the social side, like everybody will be restricted at the moment, which is not so good for bonding. But I'm sure in the future, when you win the league, you'll have a night out.
Well, that's looking quite into the future, yeah. But the social side is certainly restricted at the minute. But we're a long way off winning the league, to be honest. But it definitely is an aim of us. I'm not going to say it's not. But hopefully, all going well, we can have a wee social gathering at the end of the season. Hopefully
all goes well. So, a decent start to the season, eh? You've had as a group.
Of course, I think that's 6 games now we've played, won 5, and obviously, unfortunately, lost 1, which I think was a bit harsh on us, to be honest.
We'll forget about that.
Yeah, definitely. Forget about it to the next time.
You'll beat them the next time. You'll beat them the next time.
Definitely, I'm confident.
How have you felt? You mentioned players have came without Scotland. How have they felt in the dressing room? Because obviously, there's humour, even male, female, were pretty. It's a different environment for how have they fitted in with it off the pitch. The people have not came for the West, for Scotland.
Oh, they've been great. I think, as you say, Scottish humour can sometimes take a wee bit time to get used to, but everybody's totally embracing the way we are culturally. So it's brilliant. And as I said, they bring something else to the team that you've maybe not experienced before in terms of where they've played football over their career, bringing that in as part of the mix, do you know what I mean? So it's really good to get different kind of experiences all within the team, and everybody can draw off that.
The team, obviously, you're building for success, but you were there before the professional setup. Obviously, you're now training and everybody's getting fitter, and I was talking to my colleague before today, and he was mentioning about how impressed he was with the fitness in the last 15 minutes. Is there a big difference from where you were when, say, 4 years ago, yeah?
Yeah, it's honestly, the difference is absolutely unreal, even across the women's game in a 4-year period, but certainly at Rangers, the professionalism now compared to where it was 4 years ago, it's just night and day. The support that the club give you, everything you've got from all the backroom staff, there's really no excuse for us not to be doing our job well. And as you said, in the last 15 minutes of that game, you wouldn't have known it was the last 15 minutes because we were still relentless in the way we were playing, and Motherwell just couldn't seem to keep up there, and it shows you the difference between being professional and being amateur, how it basically extends the gap, and it is all about everything we've got behind us and the work that the girls are putting in daily at training.
Honest question here, when you started out in your journey as a football player, did you ever think you would be a professional with Glasgow Rangers?
Honestly, no. Obviously, I've been playing the game now for over 20 years. But so from where it was back then to now, you couldn't have imagined it would have come on this quickly. Which, in terms of where it was 20 years ago, it is quickly, if you know what I mean. So, no, I couldn't have imagined it, and it's something I'm really proud of.
Yeah, and going to your work now, going into work at Rangers and that setup, there must be a buzz about it, eh?
Oh, definitely. It's just unreal. It's something that I'm still getting used to be honest. It's like saying, I'm doing this and I'm actually getting paid to do this. It's brilliant. And as you said, you get in and you're playing football, something you love, and it's in a professional environment. You couldn't really ask for more if you're really into this sport.
Mm-hmm. What's a normal training day for you, Claire? Then, what do you do?
Well, it's obviously pretty different now, just with coronavirus and stuff like that. But certainly we make the most of what we've got. So, we turn up at the training centre and we get our preparation done with the sports scientist, Emma, who's been great for us. And then we'll go in and we'll do a football session. And obviously Malky and Kev will set that up depending on what we particularly work on that day. And we'll do that for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then we'll look to get into the gym and do our gym programme. Once we've done that, it's some food. And then it's up home and we'll do various types of Zoom calls on, our setup, opposition setup, and just kind of different things like maybe nutrition, well-being, things like that, just to keep in touch. It's not just training and then home and that's that. We're constantly in touch over different things and trying to improve the team and use the time we have and using the technology for that.
Mr. Malky was on a couple of weeks ago, character. Enjoyed it speaking to him, but he told us that the gaffer, Mr. Gerrard, had a Zoom call he's on. What did you take out of that?
Oh, it was just brilliant. It's just class. It's something that you would never think you'd get to be part of. Seeing him on a Zoom call and talking to you and giving you his insight and advice on the game and how it should be played and just mentality and stuff going forward. The girls are absolutely buzzing. But you get to speak and ask questions. It's just an experience that, as I said, you would never think that you would have, and then here you go. This year we go professional, and that's the type of things the club are doing for us. It's just unreal.
The other teams in Scotland, obviously, in the men's game, we've always been the premier team in Scotland, but now it looks as if you're going to have to carry that mantle, and once you start winning, I can see it going down a similar path. Amy McDonald was on a couple of weeks ago, and she said that her aim was to have the ladies play at full Ibrox. There's a challenge for you.
I know, well, it is, but as you said, all of this comes with success. You have to push the game forward, and to be successful, or for the women's game to be successful, you have to win stuff. You have to be noticed. Football, even the men's football, started somewhere, and it's the same for us. It's a journey. Do you know what I mean? And it's something I'm sure we'll manage to get. How long that will take us to do, who knows? But it's certainly, you want to keep pushing it forward. You don't want to just stop and stand still where it is just now, because it can always get better. But if that was something that we managed to do, probably after I retire, right enough. But that would be amazing for the women's game.
Oh, when you see Stephen Davis running about on Sunday, you've got a few years left yet, yeah?
Well, I don't know. I'm 34. I'm 35 next year. We'll see how it goes. But I certainly want to play as long as I can. I don't think I'll ever be ready to give up. Do you know that? It's just, I just absolutely love football. So, but as long as my legs will take me, I'll keep going.
Have you looked at the coaching side of the game?
Oh, definitely. I think even when I stopped playing, I don't think I could come away from the game. It's just been part of my whole life growing up. I think to take a step away completely would just be, I just wouldn't be able to do it. So I'd definitely be interested in going into coaching, and as I said, even just doing my part to try and keep women's football pushing forward in this country. Hopefully at Rangers that would be even better.
Mm-hmm. And who were the big influences on you to get you down this journey?
Actually, my granddad, to be honest, that got me into football. So he, when I was younger, used to throw a ball and kick it, and he's like, you know, you're actually no bad. And then just started kind of playing more and more with me, and then got me involved in kind of boys teams, and it just kind of went from there. And then went to girls teams, and he got me there and arranged for me to get back and forth from training, games and everything, and it just kind of took off from there. But yeah, I'd definitely say he's been the one that's kind of drove my career and inspired me to get into football.
Right. Is he still with us?
He is, yeah.
He must be
81
proud,
now, right enough.
He must be proud when he sees what you've achieved.
Oh no, he definitely is. He's just like over the moon that how far I've came in the women's game, you know. And as you said, now being professional, it's just something you wouldn't have dreamt of 10 years ago. So he's more than delighted that I've managed to achieve that.
You've got some big fixtures coming up in the next few weeks, eh?
Yeah, I got Glasgow City on Sunday, which is going to be a really big one for us. They know it's going to be a really hard game, but I think they are more than capable of bringing the game to them, and there's nothing to say that we can't win it.
Oh, I like that attitude, because this is a big marker for the season if you can get a result. Eh?
Oh, of course it is, and everybody's eyes will be on us, you know, because we're professional. We're coming out professional this year. There's massive expectation, but the girls know that, and you know, they're used to playing in big games, and they understand that success comes with pressure. But as I said, this game, it's something you just have to be able to cope with that and get into this game and believe that you can actually win the game. And as I said, there's nothing to say that we can't win this. Although Glasgow City have been dominant in 10 years in this country, it has to end at one point. And as I said, there's nothing to say it can't be us, it can do it.
Here. Do you know if it'll be televised? Do you know if it's going
Say that again, sorry.
Do you know if it's going to be televised?
Oh, it is. It'll be on BBC Alba, 4:10 on Sunday. So hopefully we get some folk watching us, cheering us on.
So you could go near challenge the top of the league. The big team could go. The first team could go 16 points. It could be another beautiful Sunday for us.
Oh, it's definitely good, I know. How good would that be, getting into the Christmas break for us, being top of the league, but as I said, and the men's team, but we still have to do the business on Sunday. At the moment, we're still second, so as I said, hopefully we can get the 3 points on Sunday and begin the Christmas break top of the league. That'd be brilliant.
The girls that came for the club with the Old Firm game, because an Old Firm game's an Old Firm game, whether it's youths, the women's, or obviously the men's is the top of the tree. Was there any comments made about the atmosphere and the intensity of that?
From what, sorry?
From the new players that come in, particularly the foreign players, when the first Old Firm game. How did they find that?
Right. I think for them, because if you grow up in Scotland, you know the kind of background of an Old Firm, whereas I think when you're coming in from, say, another country, like obviously Bala, coming from India, and Breeze, American, I don't think, although you might have heard of the background, I don't think you really quite understand, do you know what I mean, how it is. So I think they just come in and played their own game, which sometimes can be a benefit to them, if that makes sense, because they're just going in playing with no pressure. Well, there's a lot of girls in the team support Rangers and obviously love the badge and want to win, which can sometimes kick in the nerves a wee bit, but no, they cope with it very well.
Right, okay, so sometimes you're saying you're better playing with the head, not with the heart, yeah?
Well, I'm saying it can be a benefit to the girls that have come in from elsewhere who maybe don't understand, and it can allow them to be a bit more level-headed, and they're not letting the occasion get away from them, which it is good to play with the heart at times, but you still need to play with your head as well. It's a balancing act, I think.
Because there was a game, these were very unfortunate, and he's dominated, 60-70% of the game, is that fair?
I would say so. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, they had their chances as well, but I think, being honest, I think that we were dominating the game, and I think we were unfortunate, but it just comes down to taking your chances when they're there, you know, because football can be cruel, and it just showed what happened to us in the 90th minute, unfortunately, and we ended up losing the game 1-0. But as I said, we have to just look forward. We can't change it now, going into the next game and try and put that right.
So short term, beat Glasgow City and then keep the momentum going. That's a big game for you, yeah?
Definitely. That's the aim. It has to be. You have to get in believing that you're going to win a game. There's no point in getting in believing that you're not. So, of course, that's our goal, is to go and beat them. But we know it's going to be a hard game, and we're obviously aware of everything they've done. So we're no silly, you know, getting into this game knowing it's going to be difficult. But ultimately, we're aiming to go in there and get 3 points.
And have you got a feeling that Claire Gemmell could be lifting some silverware come the end of the season?
That would be brilliant. Obviously, I've been at the club for about 7 years now, and we've no won anything, which is unfortunate, especially for being such a big club. But now this year, what an opportunity we have to win some silverware. So definitely, I would be loving to lift the League Cup at the end of the season. But we need to just take one game at a time and get the points on the board. And the closer it comes, we can start maybe believing that could happen more.
Who's the dangerous players in Glasgow City we'll need to watch out for?
Oh, they've got talent in all their squad, to be honest. They are a very good team. There's a reason that they've won, as I said, the leagues the last 10 years in a row. They've got a mentality, they know how to win. And they've got a lot of experience who kind of ingrain that in new players coming in. So they don't have anybody that I would say is not worth a watching. They've got an extremely talented squad. But as I said, so do we. So it's just about trying to impose our game in them rather than allowing them to do that to us.
So they're the marker. Yeah, they're the marker and they're the aim, and then we want to go past them. Is that the aim, medium and long term? Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to be the best club in Scotland. That's the aim of the club. The club have not kind of had that in any way, saying that that's what their aim is going forward. But you obviously need to take steps in terms of growing as a club for ourselves. You know, you can't just throw players together and go, right, on you go, that's it. It's a mentality that grows. It's a winning attitude that grows. And I do think we have a really good group of players for that, and we're certainly moving in the right direction. But ultimately, as I said, they've been in top for 10 years, and there is a reason behind that. It's not going to be an easy task, but certainly one that we're capable of doing.
And then hopefully if everything goes to plan, and obviously it's an if, you've lifted that trophy, then you've got the European adventure there.
Aye, I know that's another element to it as well. You know, you get to get in and play Champions League football, and having Rangers women getting into play Champions League football it's just unreal. It's phenomenal for the club, and it would just lift our profile even higher. So yeah, of course, you know, that as well as our goal is to get Champions League football, and it would just be something that would just be unreal for the club and the girls going forward.
Listen, we wish you all the best for your Rangers Radio. We've got a connection now with them, so we're getting somebody for the women's team coming on every week or so, and everybody's enjoying it. If you've got one message out there for the Rangers support, what would it be as captain of the Rangers women's team?
I would basically say, come and watch us, you know, watch us on Rangers TV, watch us on BBC Alba, see if you like how we play. You know what I mean? We're a good team, and give us your support. We all love doing what we do, and we love playing for this club, and all we want to do is win, and win for the fans.
Claire Gemmell, I wish you all the best for the future, and I hope you're back on here in a few months' time and we're talking about your night out after you've won the league.
Thanks very much. Good to speak to you.
Speak to you soon. Cheers.
Thank you.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I don't want the big thing that came out of that story. We've been in the same class at school. You know, last year. There you go, Bridge. Yeah, so there you go. You learn something new every day.
Oh, brilliant, Oxford.
I'll tell you what. Before we started chatting, after we started chatting, just briefly. First of all, what a nice individual, professional, very straight talking, and a real passion for our club. And I wish all the people who've been on for the women's team, their attitude is tremendous, Bridge. Bridge?
Sorry, pal, I was distracted there for a minute.
Still laughing.
I know. So what was it you're saying there, bud?
Gary, you take it, mate.
I mean, big congrats to them. The start of the season really well. For the games I've seen, there is a good mentality building with the team, and that win at the weekend there is only going to give them brilliant confidence. I mean, that Lassie Howitt got a hat-trick. I think is it Lizzie Arnott as well, she scored, and then a fellow Bell, Megan Bell, scored as well. So I mean, it seemed to be a couple of individuals were getting goals, so that will only breed confidence into the team. And good luck to them, by the way, because they're Rangers fans as well and Rangers players, so I wish them all the best as well.
Yeah. Right, Bridge, I suppose we better open up these phone lines, Marker?
Absolutely, buddy. Get them in.
What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online, where you'll be brought into the call with Fox or Old School Blue. Here's a clue. If you phone in, hang up, we will phone you back.
I love it.
Yeah, people. It's great. The people, the passion the people show for the show is fantastic. But we can't phone them back if they keep phoning us, GB.
Imagine they got a hold of your own number, Lux. You'd be pestered. Pestered like Mendy's business, I tell you.
Don't give Bridge your number, mate. That was a mistake I made, you know.
Ah, all right, okay.
Yeah.
You're a shocker.
You know. But aye, fantastic for the women's team, and I hope big game for them at the weekend, and I hope they can get the result they want, Gary. Yeah.
Aye, a good test for them, Ox. Like Claire was saying, that Glasgow City, they have been kind of the headline makers in the women's game up here for years. So it will be a good test for them to see how far they've came as a team. And like it says, what's to stop them from pushing boundaries? You know what I mean? It says they've got good players on the team, got good technical players as well. So good luck to them. Go for it. I would say just go out there and show what you can do. And then, like it says, all that experience should come through, and the passion that you've got for Rangers. I hope that's a good win for them. And like it says, if it's going to be on telly, I'll be a wee one. I'll be tuning in as well.
Everything all right?
Yeah, Bridgeman, you have a look. It's on the telly, yeah?
What's that, buddy?
Right, okay, so I'll tell you what to do. We're going to get the callers starting in. Let's go and mute. We'll have a tune.
Right, good man.
Callers in. Right, get yourself on mute, lad.
Right, cheers, pal.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here I've settled down. Although I meant no Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, what I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Talk of California where the sun shines all the year. Singing Bum about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Buck of California where the sun shines all the year. Singing Bum about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. And I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Talk of California where the sun shines all the year. Singing Bum about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.
If we only had the Rangers over here. There must be thousands and thousands all over the world singing that song. Brilliant.
Yep, okay, right, I'm sure we'll be ready for the callers now. Aye, interesting, and hopefully, as we say, once again, good luck in a big game at the weekend to everybody at the Rangers women's team, and hope they go from strength to strength, Bridgeman.
Here, pal, absolutely. Very good luck to them.
Oh, yes, we're talking about women's men. We'll be joined by... Well, he comes. He'll be right with us. Oh, come
He
on.
can't get through.
Yeah, we'll be joined by
he's
Denver.
made it. He's made it.
Evening, Denver.
If we only had the range.
Gone yourself, pal.
How's it going, my guys? How's it going?
Brilliant.
I bet
Aye,
you
Denver.
I bet you that band goes, a wee tear, Denver, does it? A wee bit of emotion.
Oh, aye, greeting and all that. Greeting, tears streaming in my face.
I've had all that, I had all that, pal.
Oh, aye.
That was his...
What's the story? What's the story, guys? What's happening?
We're in a good place, Denver. How are you enjoying the football, mate?
Football, the biggest cheesy on my face you can ever imagine, man. It's just unbelievable the football we're playing. But you know what? My abiding feeling at this moment is a bag of nerves because I'm waiting for it just to all drop on us, And it's all down to the fact that you and I know how much we've been through these last 4 years or so, or 12 years, So, aye, it's like, wake me up, I'm dreaming,
Denver, young Gary's got a question. He asked me a question. He's going to put the same to you. You're a certain vintage as well. Gary?
Aye.
Denver, I was saying to Ox earlier, do you think if we do go on to win the title this season that this will be the greatest title win ever in our history?
Aye, without a doubt, just because of what we've had to go through, Gary, it take a lot to beat the 1975 one, when Colin Steen scored the winner at Easter Road. I thought I'd never top that, but honestly, this one, after all this nonsense that we've had to put up with and continue to put up with, this will top the lot, Gary. No bother, mate.
Just hold yourself there, Denver. We've been joined by Anton. Evening, Anton.
Hi, guys. How you doing? You all right? Aye.
All right, mate. How are you?
Aye, no bad, guys. No bad. Just a quick thing. Every person thought about the youth team. See the youth team?
The youth team?
Aye, see the guys out on loan now, like Kai Kennedy, Liam.
Oh, right, the young boys. Yeah, some of them are doing all right.
Like, all the chats about Celtic Rangers now, but what happens to the younger boys, know what I mean?
And with respect, mate.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
And with respect, obviously, they've got to get them. Hopefully they'll get their chance.
Aye, well, Gerrard's given them a chance now, that's what I'm saying. Like, back in the day, like, you used to have a chance, mate, to be honest. We're selling our best young team players to the English Premier League, to be honest. So now, I think we're in a strong position now.
Gary, the young team, hopefully we get some of our own homegrown talent that's good enough to get in that first team.
Aye, well, there's the Ross County against Celtic. Kelly was on the park, and by all accounts, he played a good game. So that's, and then we've had Jamie Murphy pop up with a goal for Hibs as well. So I know he's not the young team, but it looks like us loaning out our players is I'm not saying helping us, but it will hopefully in the future produce players that will be ready for the Premier League, or the Scottish Premier League, I should say. So it's another bit that we need to keep progressing. I think they are better out getting experience at different teams, to be honest, rather than sitting in the B team. To be honest, I agree
as well, mate.
I don't. Unless the B team are playing good opposition, then I would rather the boys that really want to hang about at Rangers or who want to make a mark in the first team, I'd rather see them go out and play proper games. So that's my thoughts on it.
I think the difficult thing, Anton, is first and foremost they've got to be good enough. Yeah?
Exactly.
And then secondly, with that, and I'll take this to Denver, who's out in the US of A. Second of all, they've got to have the right attitude. That's being good enough is only one part of the formula. Denver?
Aye, correct, Ox. There's a marked difference between the USA boys and the way they're coached here. They seem to be more professional. It's an unfortunate sideline, be it living in the west of Scotland or the bevy and all that, which doesn't happen to the same extent here, But Antoine, I think that the key at the moment is the focus is winning this league. And as much as I like to see the young boys getting a chance, we need to tie up this league, and then we can look after the young boys and give them some blood.
Exactly, no, you're totally right. I agree with you. You're totally right, mate. As long as we sort us up this season, that's us sorted, mate.
Aye, exactly. And Gerrard's a man. He because he knows himself. He broke through at a young age at Liverpool, so he'll not be slow to give the guys the chance if they're good enough,
Well, that's what I love of him. See, he's giving the youth a chance, mate. You know what I mean?
The comment he made. What was the recent game he brought the two boys on?
Falkirk.
Falkirk. That's right.
That's right.
And then he said, keep your feet on the ground. I'll be keeping my eye on you to see how you handle this, because it's all very well playing in the first team, and then you think you're Billy Big Boys, and then it all falls away for you,
So can you answer this? Has Kai Kennedy signed a new contract for Rangers?
Not at the moment, mate. Not at the moment. They're still in negotiations, yeah.
Is this about Billy Gilmore?
That's what we don't know, mate. We don't know, but we answer that. Unfortunately, mate, if the boy, you can't make him sign a contract, mate,
This is what happens to the boys. They think about bigger things and they leave the club and they think, oh, God, what have I done? You know what I mean?
Aye, and there's no many Billy Gilmores about. He does look as if he is one notch above at the moment.
He looks like...
But I've not seen enough of Kennedy to judge. I mean, I've seen him playing some of the youth games. Aye. All right, Anton, listen, mate, thanks for the call,
I know, I'm saying Kai Kennedy's a good one.
You're breaking up on us, mate.
Sorry, guys, I'm saying Kai Kennedy looks like a good one.
Aye. I mean, we've got a lot of boys that look good.
Like
the boy come on.
A Scotland player as well, obviously.
The boy Dixon that come on, Dixon. Hope we got his name right against Falkirk. I was really impressed with him in his debut. The boy come on, King, 16 years of age. Fair play to them.
Leon King, aye.
Fair play to them, and hopefully, if they're good enough, right attitude, they've got the right manager there to get them in the team, but they need to be good enough, mate. All right. Oh, I think we've lost Anton. He's breaking up a bit there. Don't know if it's a bad line or something. Good question, Bridgeman, but they need to be good enough, yeah?
Yeah, nobody wants the kids to come on more than us in Rangers Radio. We want to see them improving. And some of the boys have been really good. But they get to a certain level, don't they? And sometimes it just doesn't blossom right, You think everything's going to be right and it doesn't happen. But the two lads, particularly the boy King, I thought the boy King is going to be a smashing player for us. I think so anyway, But is the other boy's name Kennedy?
He's a boy
quite accomplished. Yeah.
No, he's playing men for Ness. The boy Kennedy's playing men for Ness.
So who was the other youth then?
Dixon, come on. Dixon.
So I do apologise.
Right.
Yeah, I like the boy Kennedy too, by the way. But that young lad, really good.
I know you don't like that name, Dixon, because you just think evening all.
I'm sure he lifted me a couple of times.
Gary will be scratching his head wondering what you're talking about.
I'm thinking Dixons and Curries.
And there might have been a few curries involved. Right, Denver, who's impressing you this season, mate?
The full squad, Ox. I spoke to my top man back in Glasgow there, a good man, Dougie. And him and I had a wee bit of going to it about Morelos. He doesn't rate him this season. And I can't imagine that. I know the wee man's not scoring goals, but it's a team game at this moment, and that's what the key is. The amount of work that wee man's putting in, I love it. And then Big Hitton, he came on the other day and he changed the whole thing completely, and it's just a team game. And one thing, Ox, I noticed when Tavernier got interviewed, he talks like a Rangers captain now, because he was previously, a few years ago, he would be interviewed and he'd be clowning about with the interviewer and all that stuff. And it always got the impression he was a kind of class clown. But now he realises the position he's in. And that impresses me. But right across the board, there's nobody in the Rangers team that's letting me down at all now, Ox, you know.
And Gary, Denver's a hard judge.
Denver, you make a great point about Tav there. I mean, I don't know what interview it was, but Tav was saying that like Gary McAllister had been helping him and stuff like that develop, and Gary McAllister's been a cracking captain and all, and he's only going to learn for the best. And I think maybe this is what it's been. He's maybe he's grown as a person and a player. Right. Exactly. So maybe he's developing, and maybe this is what we're getting the best of this year. And he's probably, I tell you something, if this is his top form, then we've knocked it off that he's landed his top form in this season. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I know he's got a great rapport with Big Greg. Him and Big Greg are always playing it back and forward, you know. So Big Greg will be putting him a few pointers, being the greatest captain of all time of the Rangers, you know.
Aye, brilliant.
All right, we've been joined by Gary. How are we doing, Gary?
How are we doing, guys? Okay.
What was that, Denver?
This is getting too confusing for my old heat here.
Oh, it's the Gary team. Hi, Gary.
Just call me Bal. Second name's Ballantyne. Just call me Bal.
It's like the Gary gang on with fools and horses.
Gary.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Gary gang.
Gary.
I just thought of joining the conversation. Talking about Tav, weren't you?
Well, just Denver Bears just took it on to Tav, saying how he's got the bit between his teeth, basically.
He believes in himself and he believes in his teammates now. There's no cracks there this season that we can see, and they can't see it either as a team. So, there's still a long way to go, but you know it's all looking good. I mean, if you'd be talking about the points, we're only 3 points ahead of last season, but I think you've got to take more into account than that. If you look at how strong we are at the back, how well we're doing in Europe, clean sheets. I think we're taking all that into account. We're much, much stronger than what we were last season. So, and Tav's the absolute epitome of where we're at in both respects, because not only is he part of a defence which has only conceded 3 goals in the league, he's also part of a team that's scoring goals for fun, and he's the top goal scorer. I think is it 27 goals he's been involved in, either scoring or assists in 25 games, and that's got to be some of the best stats in European football. It's got to be up there.
Aye, he's actually, to be fair, GB shown off, isn't he?
Well, and folk are sitting up and noticing it as well. That's the thing. Like, I was listening to Talk Sport and stuff like that, and folk are talking about him. You know what I mean? So he's doing all the right things. And like I says, for him to be in this form on this season, all seasons, is a godsend, because we need him. We were crying out for the captain last year, and we were saying, he needs to get in there about that team and stuff like that. See, this year, what I love about it is there's no excuses. Steven Gerrard's been saying for the length of time he's been here that he sat down with the players and he said to them, I'm going to take away all the excuses. So he's not getting fed right, he's not got good players running about. He says, I'm going to take all that away. And he's eventually got to the point where he's took all the excuses away. So now it's all in the players now. And this is what Tav's got. Tav's probably got more power now, in a sense, because he can turn around to players and say, well, what are you moaning for? Because you've got the best training, you've got the best food, etc. So it's an all-round huge improvement to get us to where we are today.
Mm-hmm. Denver.
Aye.
The improvement is what's bringing out the best in Tav. It's a joint effort. The team's good. He's bringing out the best in them. He's shown leadership qualities that maybe We weren't sure if he had. He's obviously turned into some athlete. Isn't he the greatest right back we've ever had defending? No, I don't think he would be, but he's got this package. It's pretty unique. Denver?
I'll tell you, he's the best right back as a centre forward we've ever had. There was one time in the game on Sunday there where he was up and the ball was bouncing about, and me and my boy said, "What the hell is he doing there in the 6-yard box?" Nonsense, man. Absolutely crazy, man. But the thing is, though, Ox, I firmly believe that they realise they've won nothing now. I think last year that when they beat the Terriers at the Scum Dome, they thought they had won the league and they had nothing better to do than just turn up and it was all going to fall into the plate. But no, it doesn't work like that. You've got to fight for every point. And you showed you how fine a margin it was on Sunday when that boy cut into the box and McGregor made that great save. And then we went right up the park and scored. But if that guy had scored that goal, it would have been a completely different game,
We're under pressure then, aye.
Exactly, aye.
Okay. Bridgeman, if people want to join us, what's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
For joys at Skype at RangersRadio.online. You'll be brought in a call with Fox on Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up, we will phone you back and then we'll bring you into conversation. Easy.
Can I come in on Tavernier, Oxia?
Yes, of course you can.
Just wanted to say that I think I said it to you a wee bit earlier as well. In my opinion, Tavernier is playing out his skin. It's absolutely fantastic stuff because he's at a lot of comfort. He doesn't need to worry. Apparently, he doesn't need to worry too much behind him because I think it's because Big Golson is covering a lot for him and the double centre halves are working well, really well. And I think that's the main reason. So he's full of beans and he can motor up and get his engine running again. What an athlete! One of the best athletes I've seen on a pitch for Rangers. Just unbelievable, fantastic. I think Golson gives him a lot of comfort.
I was struggling to argue with that, Mucker. I really would. Two GBs here. Gary.
Right, so when you play...
Wait a minute, when did you...
Val, hi.
Gary.
Fuck, I don't know who I am, I'm just Gary.
Right,
Gary.
Right, I'm GB, you're Gary.
Right, we'll go with that. Right, GB, then Gary.
Hey, man, that was on GB as well.
If somebody else phones up and says they're Gary, I'm out of here. Right, GB first. And by the way, they've both got the same initials as well, right?
Denver's saying he's DB as well or something.
I'm GB, I'm Goldie B as well,
Oh, God. There we go.
Right.
No, I mean, Tav, I think it was Foster at the weekend in his interview, and he was saying that he says you can forgive him for being so high up the park and some of his defensive frailties because of how much he gives the team. I mean, if we're going on last season, we probably relied on one player too much last season, whereas this season we've got a team there that is contributing to winning the games. So it's not just one guy having to score all the goals or Tav having to do all the work himself. That there's a team there that's contributing to everything. So I think that's what's bringing out the best in Tav, because we haven't been playing well. It's making other players run about and play well as well. And it gives, all that does is breed confidence. So long may it continue.
Gary?
Very similar. He's just a boy that's full of confidence, supremely full of confidence. I mean, when Hitton comes in, the second goal, when the ball comes in for the left-hand side, for him to be that high up the pitch, and he's not even in the box, he's in the 6-yard box. For a right back to be that far up the pitch because the ball's on the left-hand side of the pitch, that's obviously his trigger, as they call it in modern-day football, to get up the pitch and get in that box. And it's the same with Borna when the ball's going down the right wing. That's the trigger. Get in there and turn yourself into another, forward. And maybe the season before last season, that was there. It was the same trigger, but he's probably in the back of his head, maybe consciously or subconsciously thinking, "Aye, but if they get in at the back, I might get the blame for a goal getting conceded." Mm-hmm. Whereas now he's got full belief that whether it's Davis playing at the back or Kamara or whether it's Jack, whoever's covering that channel for him is going to have his back, and he's got the fitness there as well that he can make that recovery run and get back because they're going to delay the game and slow them down enough or regain possession. He's got that belief, so that means that gives him that extra 10 yards to get into the 6-yard box. And if you look at his headers and stuff that he's scored this season, I'm talking about the penalties. You take the penalties away, it's still an unbelievable record. And as I said before, he deserves the penalties because strikers count them, so why no right backs? Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is like that extra confidence, to go into the 6-yard box and get up that extra 10, 15 yards that you would hang about at the edge of the 18-yard box. He's got that this season, and it's paying off in goals.
Right, so with these two fullbacks, Denver, Borner's got that tremendous cross. Tav's crossing isn't as good as Borner's, let's be honest about it. But Tav can dribble past the man and put a ball in, and he gets in the box more than Borner. What a place for in, mate.
Oh, aye, and then the big Bassey fella, he's a great.
Do you like him?
Borner.
Do you like him?
Oh, love him, man, love him. The big fella's enthusiasm and how calm he is after the game, and he just wants to learn. Because he knows he's in a great place, he wants to learn for the best. But the Borner with his crosses and Tav, he sees that, like he saw that ball coming for Stevie Davis on Sunday. Fantastic, man, unbelievable what we've got there. It's like having Wally Henderson and with a number 2 on his jersey. Hey.
That's not a bad analogy.
I thought that would get to you there, Bridge.
Absolutely.
Oxshire, can I come in there for a second?
Aye, on you go, mate.
Aye. See, when you talk about Borna, right, and the boy Bassey coming in, mm-hmm. That's a phenomenal situation for Rangers to be in business-wise, because we are now financially we're a small club. The money that we deal in, size-wise, globally, we're a huge club. We know that, but financially, for our financial future and Scottish football and to do well and build and grow, we need to sell players now for good money and make a good profit off of players. And when you see young boys like Bassey coming in and he's getting his chance and he's grabbing it with both hands and he's only 20-year-old, you've got to be keeping an eye on guys like Borna. And we don't want to get rid of him because he's not good enough. We want to keep a hold of him, but it's good business sense to go, do you know what? Let's put a feeler out and see how much, because we know that I heard that Leeds came in from, didn't in the summer I heard, or I sniffed about him. But, if we can get good money, now 15 million plus for him, which more if possible, that's good business. And then you've got the boy Bassey to come in, and then you're looking for somebody to cover Bassey. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of market we're in now, is what Dave King said. It's essential now that Rangers start selling players and making good money out of it, and being like, an Ajax kind of philosophy of, producing good young talent or spotting good young talent in Bassey and profiting off the back. And that's what's going to keep the club going and keep, producing the goods sort of thing. So, and that's realism. That's, we've moved on for the 80s and 90s where we spent big money. We're at a different place now.
Yeah, well said.
Denver.
Yes, guys, I'm going to have to cut out. I'm heading up to the wonderful state of Wyoming, where they have the same internet service as Ayrshire.
How's the snow, Denver?
You believe it or not, it's almost 70 degrees for the last 3 days here.
Right.
And then we've to drop to 30 degrees and snow on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So that's the mental weather here. Denver, Colorado.
So coach.
Oh, wow.
You can't really go for Salford to Wyoming. It's not that easy anyway, Right, guys, I'm going to have to go. Just a final note. I'm delighted to hear all the new callers on. They bring a great new aspect to the whole Rangers Radio, and it's great to hear from you. And I'm heading up to Wyoming, so think about me when I'm up there, boys. All the best.
Denver.
Yes, mate.
You take care, pal. You take care. Marvellous to hear you.
Take care, Denver.
We only had the Rangers over here. All best, guys. Take care. Bye.
What a man. What a man.
Brilliant call.
Aye, what a man. The power of this show. I don't know. Sometimes it leaves me speechless, Bridge. You know, he's heading out away over me. You think he was on a horse? He's in a big 4x4.
I think he'd been a horse.
Going on a cattle drive.
Brilliant.
That's the thing, Ox, though. It keeps, like, there's Denver, he's away out there, right? And probably hard as anything to get to a telly to watch the Rangers and stuff like that. And then you've got a show here that can keep him up to date, can keep the banter going for him and stuff like that when he's out working and stuff. This is why it's so important for the fans to have a place to come and speak, especially the fans that are abroad. It's brilliant. Really, really good. It's good to hear Denver's got company.
He'll be sitting in a 4x4 where the seats will be used as a sofa.
You know, I remember seeing a film with Liam Neeson in it, and it was about this guy and his family. And he's a truck driver, but he drove one of his trucks, a snow clearance truck. And his main job was to just drive from 120 an hour on the same road, just clear the snow. And I just thought about Denver Bear, and I wondered if he did anything like that sometimes, you know. Unbelievable. Just
Denver was over. Was it last? What did it be last season? Was it the season before? I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was last season. Might have been the season before. I'm not sure. It was the game. It was rained off and then put on the next day. Denver and his boy were there, GB, and the Rangers game was on a Saturday. It rained off with torrential downpour, and they moved it 24 hours. And all Denver's plans when they bought it, but he still got himself to Ibrox. What a man! What a man!
Commitment there. You mean that's?
Aye. Right.
That's
okay. Right. Where are we? Right, Bridgeman. If people want to join us, what's the number, mate?
the number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online when you're on the call by Old School Blowing Fox. Phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. That's the secret. We will phone you back. Right, okay. What's up?
Very good, I'm just saying, that's what you need to do. I'm thinking of the guy that was phoning constantly. Just instances, you know.
Oh, I want to get the messages. I don't take the phone calls. That's the technical department. Me and you, Bridge, we're front of house.
Front of house. Brilliant. Front office.
That's all we get allowed today, me and you. We don't get any better than that, Bridge. They don't trust us with nothing, do they? Right, okay, so...
Yeah, sorry, pal, sorry.
All right, we're in a good place, and obviously, for the last, maybe 48 hours now in the press, GB, well, for the Dave King Club 1872 thing starting to bubble up. You any thoughts, mate?
There's a few thoughts on it, Ox. I just hope that King's been up front with the board and stuff like that. I don't want it causing any animosity with anybody. The 1872, again, I get that they want to raise funds, and it gives us a kind of a fan ownership of a sort, and it's good that fans will have a say if that's the case, if it pans out like that. But personally, I would like to sit down with Dave King and say, why would you want to leave Rangers totally? I mean, I would always want a guy like that really still about the board, because he's also got the Rangers at heart and stuff like that. But for him to walk away totally, I don't get that. I know he's done his work and stuff like that, and he wants to be a fan and enjoy it, but I would much rather him still have at least some shares in Rangers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got a personal right to make up whatever career path he wants to go on. He wants to retire, semi-retire. That's him and his family's choice, mate. You know what I mean?
Aye. It would just be. I want to say a sad end, but it's just the guy's done so much to get us to where we are today, and for him to just to to walk away from it all. What I wouldn't want is him to walk away, and I know he's leaving it in good hands and stuff like that, but it's just the fan ownership thing. As we talk on here, there's a lot of people have got a lot of different opinions, and it's just, I wouldn't like Douglas Park is a Rangers fan, but he's a brilliant businessman as well. So 1872, I would hope, would have good business sense people in amongst their voters and all, if anything like that was ever coming up. So I would like it kind of balanced, that there's the heart, but there's the head as well.
Aye. Listen, I've got views on my model, personal views. It's no Rangers Radio views. But I would love somebody from Club 1872 to come on here and speak to us and speak to the Rangers support all over the world that we connect with on a nightly basis, mate. And it used to be hundreds, it's now thousands of people we're talking to in a 24-hour period. So come on, speak to us, speak to them. You'll get a fair crack of the work. Rangers fan.
Absolutely, pal. Come in here, and that's what we want. We want people to come on, and there's an open invitation, as you say, and they need to come in and just talk to us. Just talk to us. And I'm sure they'll enjoy themselves, because lots of people here would love to hear them and take part, if necessary, take part in a conversation, or just to listen to your dulcet tones interviewing them. That would do us, because it'd be nice to hear. I'm saddened that King is willing to walk away. If indeed he is walking away, I didn't think he was, but if he's going to walk away, then fine, good luck, have a good life, and on you go. But I'm sad about it, because I think he came into the board and did the business and actually chased a lot of folk out of Ibrox. And luckily he did, and he pumped some money in, and he got us on the way back up again. So that's what he did for us. Not that he didn't do anything before, because he owned about 20 million or something shares, or 20 million pounds worth, before. So he's been a great investor for Rangers. I actually hope that he goes away wherever he's going. I hope he comes back and invests some more, because sometimes you get that way. Rangers is that way what they're doing. Once you've been there, you think you can walk away, and you find out you can't. So I hope it's something like that. But whatever happens, I wish him nothing but the best. Nothing but the best.
Oh, yeah, Dave King, the man. I mean, it's his choice what he does with his shares, and he's came to this agreement with Club 1872. It's his personal choice, but I'd just like to know what the there's a lot of questions that I'd like to ask Club 1872.
Yes, he's just can't be right now.
What? On you come, Gary?
Message after the beat.
You're asking my opinion?
I heard somebody speaking there. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
There was a caller joined.
We might be joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
After you finish your message, just hang up.
They were there.
I've spoke to her before.
I know that number. Any thoughts, Gary? The other Gary. Used today.
I think ultimately, Gary. I think ultimately, club ownership in some sort is essentially a good thing. Having an actual fan-based voice in the boardroom, I see it can only be a good thing. The only questions and reservations I would have is about who runs Club 1872 going forward, and how that process works, and what your actual £500 or whatever the buy-in is. What does that entitle you to? Or do you just want my money? I think with Dave King, I think we've got to try and appreciate what the guy's been through in the last 5 or 6 years, and how much stress and how hard he's had to work to get us where we are. And he maybe just wants a wee bit of the quiet life now. I mean, he lives in South Africa, so, he's only ever back in Glasgow, I don't know, once, twice a year, whatever. Whereas the other directors at the club, part of Douglas Park and that, and having shares in Rangers and getting paid the money that he does, the salary that these Rangers directors' salary in terms of his wealth isn't probably that much, but it's the kudos of being a director at Rangers.
I don't think any directors are taking the salary, mate.
Well, there you go. So that's the nail on the head, mate. So my point is,
absolutely right. Nobody on the board at executive level, no pay.
Yeah, so it's the kudos of being a director at Rangers and the feeling of self-worth that you're helping the club achieve. And the only real value that they have is the shares. And let's be honest, if you want to make money, you don't get involved in football. So, your shares are only worth so much. So I think Dave King, we don't know what his plans are business-wise as well. Maybe he wants to take the money out to put it somewhere else now. But that's it. That's his choice.
Anyway, we've joined by a caller. I'm not sure who it is. Evening, caller.
Evening, guys. To me, you're talking about.
How are we doing, Chip? All right?
All right, right, you.
Aye, what's on your mind, mate?
I've got an idea for you, actually.
Right, go on then, give me. I'm always up for ideas.
Aye. See that ticket you gave me, the doctor's with a number on it? Why do you give every caller a number? We've got for 2 Garys on tonight. Right, I don't know who's said, but last week or the week before, I was on, and my other Jim was on, and I didn't know who you were talking to. He got this. The blood was coming out of my ears then tonight.
All right, so right, okay. Just for the record, you're Jim number 1, okay?
Listen, you see that's 1872. This is worrying me. It really worries me. If my calculations are right, they need 26,000 people to put £500 into this thing to get 13 million. I think they've got about 7,000 members just now. And we've got my Jers, who I don't know how many members they've got. And this seems to be fractured to me, all these different fractions buying shares. And it sounds disastrous to me.
I mean, look, I think that there's a lot of good in what Dave King's trying to say, but ultimately, I would like to know what the benefit is going to be for the support and the club. There's a lot of questions. No, nothing to be hidden, just questions, Bridgeman, yeah?
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. Questions. Yeah. Just questions and get some answers at it. Absolutely.
Here's some questions. I believe there was a podcast earlier on. I've not had the chance to listen to it. Dave King was on, I think, 4 Lads Had a Dream, I think, the podcast. So maybe if I can fit 5 minutes tomorrow on my busy schedule, I might be able to listen to it. Jim number 1, are you still with us, mate?
Aye, still here, mate. I'll be here to the duration.
I'm going, you're Jim number 1 for forever now. Right, but there's a lot of questions, mate. I don't think there's anything. Hopefully, there's nothing to worry about. But and we can just go forward united. But the thing that worries me, the fan base, the pockets are only so deep, mate.
Absolutely. Aye, absolutely. I know your family. We pay quite a lot of money into Rangers, and for another £500 each plus what we pay in for the seasons, and it seems to be. Listen, don't get me wrong. If it's going to work out, we'll be first in line to get into this. Don't worry about that. It's just, but like as you say, let's give somebody on to see what their plans are and how they're going to go about this.
I mean, if it was me, and I'm not trying to tell Club 1872 how to run their organisation, far from it, but if it was me and I could come on and speak to thousands of Rangers supporters, like-minded people, potential customers in your organisation, members, whatever you want to call them, I would go near a shot, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, that has been worrying me for over a week anyway. When I heard this, okay, I don't understand what you're saying. Dave King can do exactly whatever he likes with his shares. And but I would have really preferred a couple of big money men come in with 7 million each or something, or 7.5. Just I would have preferred that, actually. If I'm going to be truthful.
Oxter, can I say something? So I think what I was saying before about the finances of the club going forward, we have to be more self-sustaining. I think it's having big money men that can come in and throw money at the situation. The club has to finance itself ultimately, and if you go back to when Walter Smith was there in his second term, coming to the end of the Alex McLeish and Walter Smith coming back, minus the Paul Le Guin years and that, and we didn't know what was happening in that boardroom. So they were having discussions at boardroom level. There was a talk of Lloyd's running the boardroom and making decisions for the club, and it was airtight. There was murmurings, there was people talking, but nobody really knew. If you had somebody at boardroom level who sat in there, an executive from 1872, and he had to report back to 30,000 members at 1872 of what was going on at boardroom level, because they have a right to know, because they have part ownership of that club. There would be more transparency at boardroom level, because what 1872, from what I can gather, is set up to do is to safeguard the future, the long-term future of the club again, so that we never, ever go through what happened again. And I get that.
I get that. Gary, that's understandable. But if someone would come on and explain that, but you explained that quite eloquently, actually, but if somebody else from 1872 would come on and exactly tell us what exactly is their plans and how they're going to go about getting the money and what they're going to do, that's all I need to know.
I think that will come in due course. I mean, this has only just been announced that 1872 have the option to buy the shares. I think what 1872 will be doing and should be doing now is very quickly scrambling around to put together talks, get people in who know the situation. Because if you're going to come on a show like this and you're going to be grilled by people like myself and Oxger and yourself, you've got to have that ammunition, because if you mess up and you say the wrong thing, you've blown it. So you've got to really know what you're going to say. So I think that's what they'll be doing now, is they'll be getting their house in order, they'll be knowing what the answers are to certain questions, and then there's no rush, basically. They've got a year to find the people.
Gary, they're going to need £500 off every member. This is £500 that you're just giving away. You're not going to see that again. Everybody knows that. If you walk away from that, you'll see your £500 again.
That's all. Yeah. I mean, that's all part of the questions that people will have. But there's different ways you can pay up. I mean, I've done the 1872 website just having a look, and you can pay the £500 up front. You can pay for 3 years. You can pay it up. I mean, it's no. It is affordable if you do it the right way. However,
Gary, they need the money for 3 years' time. Right, I think they've got to have a decision for a year. There's a year involved. To see if they're doing it or not, and they'll be 3 years, another 2 years after that to buy Dave King's shares. It doesn't seem a lot. It seems a long time, but it's not a lot of time. You've got a year.
No, but
for him to make a statement.
But 1872 now.
Answer me this then. How does it benefit the club?
Are you talking to me? Oh, I don't know.
Anybody.
That's right.
There's no investment. But the investment now, Dave King and the board and the investors have put in humongous amounts of money to get us back on a par in Scottish football. And what Dave King was saying the other day is that cannot continue. Mm-hmm. So the club has to be self-sufficient now. That's why we've got assets that we can sell.
How does that £13 million?
No, it doesn't.
How does it help the club? And these are some of the questions I'd like to ask.
It doesn't benefit the club financially, because the money's going to be going to Dave King, because he owns that part of the club. He owns that 20% of the club. So it's only going to benefit Dave King financially, but he's only going to get back money that he's put in to come in and save the club. So he's not benefiting financially. He's getting his money back. He's getting his tenner back.
I don't have any problem with Dave King getting his money back personally.
The only benefit to the club is not in the immediate sense, as in it's not tangible. You can't say we've spent £10 million on this player. That player's got a 3-year contract, and we're going to see him play for Rangers for 3 years. That's not the kind of return that we're going to see. The return is that safeguard that we've got not a majority shareholder, but the largest shareholder at the club will be the fans group.
I don't know if it's that simple, mate, with corporate law. If you think you can just walk out a boardroom, go to the press and start telling all the support what you've done, or put in an email what's been talked about at a boardroom, I think.
Oh, there'll be certain things, caveats that you can't mention and stuff like that, but it'll be a lot more transparent with them there than what it would be.
Gary, that sounds to me like paying £500 for a shop steward to go and talk to you, actually.
Aye, to an extent.
To go to union meetings for you.
Right, so we have an over 25% of the shareholdings which 1872 would have, because they've got like 4.95% or something like that now, and Dave King's got like 21.
There's always been another plan. There's always been another planned share, Bridgman. They've been planning about shares coming out for a couple of years now, haven't they?
Yeah, they were talking about another share issue, and they'll probably get one this year, just after the end of the season, I would suggest. So, providing the guy that's promised the money to, they're talking about 11 million. They need 11 million to keep them going, so that's been granted and guaranteed. And then they want another 17 or something like that for next season. So all that money's all been, shall we say, guaranteed by that guy for over in the East, Middle East. If
there's another shareholding and there's 25 million more shares come up, and we can get an opportunity to buy them. Absolutely, that's what we're looking for. Well, I don't know about you guys. I would absolutely love it if there's a share issue, because it's only my minor donation I've put in, So the smallest I can do, I'll do what I can. It'd be great. Great to get a share and buy shares in Rangers at this just now, because we're on the up. It looks like it now. Not against the model of Club 1872, but Jim, just the business world. I like your knowledge about the shop steward. That's a German model. That's what they do. That's one shop steward to another there. Oh, that's what the German they get a place on the board. That's part of the next person you get on the phone here will be Jimmy Reid. You need to go somewhere, maybe a seance. I know. Jim number, but if we have another share issue, that dilutes everybody's Club 1872's position.
It does. I don't think if it's 20 million shares they're talking about issuing, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of how many shares are out there. I think there's a big spread of shares. So, but I think as long as 1872 retain over 25%, they have veto. So they can any major developments at the club. So if the club want to build a new tier on the governor, they could turn around and say not happening. They could veto it, so they would have that right, because they have that.
Malky's joined us, Gary. Evening, Malky.
Evening, Ox. I'm fine, aye. It's just what he's talking about there. I actually listened to the podcast before, lads, for the Demons.
I've not the chance. Any good?
That was all right, aye. The general idea that King doesn't want one person controlling the club again. Mm-hmm. And that's how he'd rather see these shares going to the fans. Because he didn't know at the time when Murray had gave Lloyds the right Rangers shares. He had the idea that was happening. So he wanted to make sure that no one person can control the club again, and so that this kind of thing will never happen to Rangers again.
Shut up.
Because none of his family are into football or Rangers or anything like that. You know what I mean? So if anything happened to him, he still had the shares there. You know what I mean? What's the stopping? Maybe some of his family coming in, selling all the shares. Somebody takes over again. The same situation could arise again.
Malky, Dave King's got the right to do whatever he wants with his shares. Yeah, would you agree?
Well, he can do it. You know what I mean? But this is his thinking behind Unit 1872. Mm-hmm. Now, the lassie for 1872, she was on as well. Now, she says none of the staff actually take a wage. Mm-hmm. The only person that takes a wage is the lassie that works in the office. It does all the kind of accounts and phoning people and stuff like that.
She's an employee.
Aye. she's the only person that gets a wage.
That's fine. That's fine.
As for whoever they put in, they obviously need to appoint somebody to sit on the board. But whoever does that, they can't come out and talk to the press or anything like that because it's all confidential.
Exactly. That's the point I was making to Jim number one there, Jim.
You can't come out and say anything to Andy. Everything's all confidential.
That's right. And so the fans will get the same information as they get this now, Jim.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know if they keep going on and on and on, folks. If you get them on, if you get someone on, a spokesperson, to come on and let them explain exactly what they're... Just gives a clue, for goodness sake.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think, Ox, if you listen to the podcast when you get time, you'll find it quite interesting. I thought it was not a bad idea after listening to it all.
Right, that's all we were asking, if they'd want to come on here, Clubby, to speak to us. They maybe gave us a different outlook, mate, yeah?
Aye.
Nobody's decrying Dave King. I'm not saying... Dave King's... He's probably lost about... I don't know. He'd probably lose about 14 million or 20 million. The number he was throwing about last year was astronomical, 20 million, 40 million. So he's walking away and letting that go. He's underwritten that, and he's going to sell his share for £13 million. You know, so he's lost a lot of money, the big man. So good luck to him. But I suggest he should watch what he's doing with him.
You know what? Sorry.
When you go, Bridgeman.
I was just going to... you know what I mean? He was getting arrested at airports and all that. And that clown actually was trying to put him in jail, you know what I mean? He was putting in a hell of a lot, you know what I mean? He was saying...
In my personal view, when you walk out the subway and you come up Copeland Road, you turn in past Corker Hill and you go into that strip and you walk up to Highbury, it's actually called the King's Highway. That guy's
absolutely.
This is a different argument. I will take the time, Malky, to listen to that tomorrow. Bridgeman, in you come.
I was going to say, the only thing I've got to say as far as this is concerned in Club 1872, I wish everybody well. I just don't want this sale of shares or the purchase of shares to cause any negatives on the Rangers and within the Rangers board.
I think we'll be joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
All right, mate. How are you?
Who's this, mate?
It's Gary Anderson from Pickham, mate.
Another Gary.
For God's sake. He's Gary number 3.
All right. This number 3, guys.
What's on your mind, Gary?
Well, you know, been a long time listener. I've been a big Rangers fan for a long, long time. You know, living in Peckham, it's been absolutely fantastic. My dad, my granda, all from Glasgow. You know, I just love Rangers. And I think Steven Gerrard's done a fantastic job. You know, I just wanted to know your thoughts on, you know, where you see the season going and you know, how you think Steven Gerrard's doing as a gaffer.
I think he's doing a brilliant job, but I'm going to let you go to the brains of the operation. Jim, number 1.
You had Scotch eggs today. Did you ever see that advert on the telly about the Scotch eggs being a real meal? My sister brought me her Scotch eggs today. She'd made herself, and it is a meal, actually.
Right, answer the boys' question.
Gary number 3. We're doing fantastically well. You're Gary number 3.
Am I 3?
You're Gary number 3 this evening. I'm Jim number 1.
So you're Jim 1. Who's the other Garys then? So we're Gary.
Did you don't pick up your ticket for the receptionist when you come in? You're 3.
It's like the old crew. You know what's this thing in it? Gary. Jeez, guys. Well, listen, guys. I'm at work, sir. Your show is absolutely fantastic. And cheers, Gary mate. 1 and Gary 2, I'll be back. All the way from Peckham. All the best, guys. All right, good night. Good night.
I think that must be the first call I've ever had for Peckham.
Who's Dilbag?
You couldn't make it up, could you? Listen, we had to drop the other Gary because I think he was in a conversation with his wife. They didn't want to hear his personal things online. But listen, Bridgeman, we've reached that time of the evening, mate, and it's over to you.
Well, what can I say? A marvellous night, by the way. Absolutely marvellous. Well done, Oxchair, and all the other boys involved, and all the guys taking part, seriously. So can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fan on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is. Now, we've only got 2 sleeps to go. Is that right? Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and we're into it. Okay, so everybody, huge game coming up. Biggest game of our season by a long way now. Let's get it going for the Rangers. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers because the Rangers need us, and they really do. And that's the truth. Keep it going.
Can I thank Anton, the 3 Garys, the 1 Jim, and the Malky who phoned in tonight? Can I thank Bridgeman and Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technical? Thank everybody for listening. But most importantly, I'd like to thank Claire Gemmell, who came on and joined us as the Rangers captain of the women's team. Excellent to hear from Claire. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers, where we'll be joined by Linda. Take it away, Old School Blue.
That's good, yeah.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've flied the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but never see back home in Scotland more than all the rest of me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not on the really just where I sleep. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. And 3 o'clock each Saturday, I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not on the really just where I sleep. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that